Hello and welcome to the channel. Now, continuing on from my videos on drink-based technology, in this video I'm going to be going through this. So this is the WeeKett Smart Kettle, and I'm going to show you that over the past few weeks I've come to really enjoy using this for several reasons that I'll be covering in the video. So if you're new here, we make regular videos on technology for your smart home, so please do consider subscribing, as we may make a video to make your life easier and I wouldn't want you to miss out. So do hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. So in this video I'll be going through the unboxing, the look and the feel, the dock, using the kettle, the time to boil, the app, Alexa integration, why I think this kettle is genius, and finally, is it worth spending over £90 on a kettle? So let's crack on with the price, and as we said, currently in the UK the WeeKett sits at around £90 to £95, but keep an eye on the prices on the website and on Amazon, you might be able to get it a bit cheaper. The unboxing is standard, it comes very well protected, you get a base unit, the kettle itself and some paperwork. The box has a nice touch as well, the phrase "a watch kettle never boils" written on the top, and this couldn't be more apt. As you'll see later, I never actually have to hang around waiting for it to boil. So once it's out, it's a standard looking kettle really. It's all metallic with a plastic handle. On the top, the lid opens using the thumb button, and first up, this feels solid. Having gone through several kettles in my time, this I really appreciate, and it's the small things that set this kettle apart. On both sides is a water level indicator, so you can tell how much water is actually in the kettle. It's 2200 watt fast boiling, which it states on the website is 1 cup in 1 minute, but later in the video I will run through a speed test for you to give you a more accurate representation. It has a 1.7 litre capacity, and finally it has a removable limescale filter. And later in the video I'll talk you through how it may have been a missed opportunity in regards to the water level. But it's the dock that makes it stand out. It's a very good looking base, a metallic finish with large ridged buttons across the front and a retractable power cable from the rear. On the front, from left to right, are the power on and off, 4 further temperature settings, 70, 80, 90 and 100 Celsius. Then on the end is the warming function. Each button is surrounded by a bright blue LED, and the top is slightly serrated to give it a nice feel. They really do feel premium, and they have a satisfying click along with a loud beep that confirms your selection. Above the buttons is a bright blue strip which just confirms that the kettle is on. If you aren't using the app, of which I'll talk about later, then it's just a case of selecting your preferred temperature, then hitting go. That's it, done. So as a test, I thought you'd find it useful if I boiled 500 millilitres of water to 100 degrees C and timed it. This way you can see if it boils faster or slower than your current kettle. This is really just for a bit of fun and for a bit of info. So 500 millilitres of room temperature water goes in. I start it from cold, and the last boiled was about an hour ago, and timed it, and it took 1 minute 48 to boil. Other than just boiling the kettle, it has a few more useful functions as well. Firstly, there's a keep warm function, which does exactly what you'd expect. It heats up and keeps the water warm, but only for an hour. There's also a very good baby bottle function, which is accessed using the app or by a combination of buttons on the dock. It boils the water to 100 C, then naturally lets it cool to 70 degrees C for your use. And in the manual, it's stated that this is in accordance with NHS guidelines. Very good. Also, there's an alert on the boil dry function, which, if you turn the kettle on and there's no water in it, it alerts you and it switches itself off. So that's all the hardware done, but what about the software? And this is where the smart part of the Smart Kettle comes in. You can connect it to an app and control it from there. So the app they use is the Smart Life app. It's a third-party app and it works very well. All you do is add a device in the settings and name it. Here I've just simply called mine Kettle. Then within the settings for the kettle, you can see the current state. Here it's in standby. The current water temperature, the on-off button, then below that, settings to change the water temperature. Now it's here where you can go down to as low as 40 degrees Celsius. Then there's the keep warm function, the baby bottle, and then finally the timers. Timers here where you can set it to turn on and off at a temperature or for a baby bottle. for new parents who have this set up, I can see this being a huge benefit, not having to wait for a kettle to boil and cool at 2 a.m. stood in the kitchen. I know I would have loved this had I had this back in the day. So in other settings, you can connect the kettle to Alexa or the Google Assistant. Then it's just a case of them asking it to turn the kettle on, and away it goes. As I alluded to earlier, the kettle can't tell you how much water you have in it. I completely get that you may think that renders the smart functions pointless, but after using the kettle for a few weeks, it isn't actually as big a deal as you'd think it is. Yes, you do need to go to the kettle to check and can't just set it from the sofa in fear of it not having enough water in. But using it day to day, I didn't really miss this. What I do use a lot in the app is the alerts. You can set the app to alert you every time it starts up and shuts off. This is where their strapline, a watched kettle never boils, as 99 times out of 100, I just fill up the kettle, get the mugs ready, then walk off and wait for an alert to tell me it's boiled. Then I'm back, nice cup of tea or coffee. This might seem like a small thing, but it's a huge help and means that A, I don't forget, and B, I don't need to reboil the water. Yes, it would be nice to know how much water is in it, and maybe that will come later down the line, but at the moment I don't really miss it. So there it is then, should you buy one? After initially seeing this kettle as a bit of an expensive luxury, I've had people come round that have seen it in action and then immediately want one. It's one of those products that initially say to yourself, but I can buy a kettle from Argos for £10. But then, when you actually use it and you see the benefits, especially for baby bottles, timers and alerts, you start to see the value in it. Of course, it is a lot of money and I think it is a hard sell, but I'm a 100% convert and I have no problem recommending this to people. So there's my look at this, the brilliant smart kettle from WeeKett. Have you got one? Are you thinking of picking one up? Let me know down in the comments below. I've also left links down in the description of where you can pick one up. So please do like, please do subscribe, and until the next video, bye bye.